This is Chris, the Idaho cyclist, bringing you another how-to video on how to operate and maintain your bicycle.
This is Chris, the Idaho cyclist. In this video, we're going to show you how we go about adjusting and tightening a road bike stem. And to adjust and tighten this stem, we've got our top cap, and that uses a 5mm Allen wrench. And then we've got the two tightening bolts on the side, and that uses a 4mm Allen wrench. And to begin the process of removing the stem or adjusting the stem, you're going to want to take and just loosen your two side Allen bolts, and you can loosen those two Allen bolts just like this. Just loosen them just a little bit, and that's going to give you the ability to rotate and adjust your stem, whether it is straight with or in line with your wheel, your front wheel. So we'll get that loosened up that it'll actually move. And just like that, you can see now the handlebars will slide from side to side. And if I want to straighten up my handlebars method, I like to just straddle the bike just like this, and now I can just put the wheel in between my legs, and I can look down, and I like to just close one eye, look down, and just make sure those handlebars are straight in line with my front wheel. The top 5mm Allen bolt, the only time you want to actually unloosen that or adjust that is that's actually the load to the bearings in the headset. And to actually straighten your handlebars side to side, you do not need to use the 5mm Allen bolt or Allen wrench and loosen that up. So I get that adjusted side to side, and then I can actually tighten that back up, and that's a quick adjustment to straighten up my handlebars. If your bearings are loose, and one way to determine whether your bearings are loose or not, you can just take your front brake and just squeeze your front brake and put some pressure on the bike and rock it back and forth. And if you can feel some play in the headset, you'll actually feel it shift back and forth. If that is loose and needs to be tightened, then you actually go about tightening the 5mm top cap Allen bolt. And I'd actually loosen up my two 4mm Allen bolts right here. Then I'm just going to stick this 5mm Allen bolt in there, and I'm just going to tighten it just a little bit, and you'll just tighten it just a little bit to the right, clockwise, until you can eliminate that play. Make sure the headset runs freely, and then you can re-tighten that back up. Get it good and tight. Now make sure my handlebars are straight, and I'll re-tighten my headset. Re-tighten my stem. I'll get that thing good and tight. You don't want your stem coming loose while you're riding. Now, to adjust my hood height, if my hoods are up too high, I want them lower or higher, I can make the adjustment up front here. I'll just loosen these four Allen wrench bolts, and now I can take and just adjust it up or down. And I want the hoods to go a little bit lower. Right now they're just a little bit up, a little bit high for my riding style. Still a little bit tight, so we're going to unloosen these a little bit more. Get that down just a little bit more. I like my hoods a little bit lower. I'm going to re-tighten those 4mm bolts. If you have a torque wrench, These are supposed to be set at 5 nanometers. If you don't have a torque wrench, you don't want to over tighten them. This is an aluminum bar and stem, not as critical if it is carbon. If it's carbon fiber, a little more critical to have an Allen wrench, but you can just play it by ear and just get them cinched down, just get a little bit of torque on them, not a whole lot. And you want to just, you got 4 of them on this stem, so you just rotate back and forth, getting them all tightened evenly. And that is how you go about tightening or adjusting a road bike stem. In adjusting our headset and stem, we've got the top cap bolt, the 5mm Allen bolt, and then we got the 2 side 4mm Allen bolts right here. And if you're just wanting to adjust your handlebars, if they're out of alignment, you don't want to be unloosening or tightening the top bolt. That is actually to tighten your headset bearings. It's the bearing preload, and by loosening and tightening this, that's going to tighten the bearings and the fork down to the bearings. So you don't need to mess around with this bolt at all unless the bearings inside your headset right here are loose. And I'll show you a simple method to determine how to determine whether your bearings are loose or not, or the headset is loose. So if you're just trying to adjust your bars to get them in line with your front wheel, you're only going to be unloosening and tightening the 2 bolts right here. If you want to adjust the height of your handlebars and the height of your hoods, you're going to be using the 4 Allen bolts up front on the stem right there. If you want to make an adjustment to your handlebars, you can loosen the 4mm Allen bolts. Right here, we got 4 of them on a Ritchie stem. You'll slightly loosen those 4 bolts, and then you can rotate your handlebars up and down to get what you want is a good height that's comfortable for you with your brake and shift lever hoods.
This is Chris, the Idaho cyclist. Thanks for watching our videos, and don't forget, click those buttons right down here below me. They're the share and like buttons. It goes a long way to keeping us on TV.